All right, thank you for joining me on another episode of Melanin Dads. I have a extra special guest with me today, Miss Mooki. What's your government?
Doris, but Mooki, I could go by Mooki.
Yeah, Mookie's. I like that.
Works.
So, yeah, I thought it was a good time for you to come on. Being the second female that's been on here besides my wife, it's good to get a representation from our Black women as well. And just so people and myself, definitely not biased. I'm all about Black empowerment, and I always support my sisters any way I can.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, it's all for the cause.
We appreciate that.
No crabs in the barrel here. So there's a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about today, and I figured the best way is to get you here. So I appreciate you coming out on such a short notice. We've been, playing tag for such a long time, but it's no animosity. We all know that we have lives, we have children,
right.
And it's a pandemic going on right now. So, but we're at this point in the world where we got to stick together as people. It's so crucial right now because just with the person that's in office right now, he's all about division, and I feel like the record high that the city is with murder has partially to do with of course the pandemic, and on top of that, just the division in our country. I feel like it's added to that hurt that we've been dealing with since we landed on this in this country as people. But going back, let's start off with some of the the accolades that you're doing, and I'm mad that I didn't ask you to bring some seafood with you.
See. So I'm having a pop-up shop, so
okay,
I'm not even making no more seafood salad until the pop-up shop.
Okay,
on 19.
What time?
It's on the 19th from 3 to 8. I think it is either 4 to 8 or 3 to 8. Let's go before. I think it's 4 to 8. So I'm going to have my seafood salad there. And then I started making a new shrimp and salmon salad. So I'm going to have that there too. So, and we got all, we got all female? I think it's all female African-American vendors. We got clothes.
Wow.
We got handmade soaps. We got handmade clothing. What else we going to have there? We got like accessories, pocketbooks, jewelry. What else? Candles. So we tried to do like one of each vendor, and we got about 11 vendors, and everybody's African American, Black, female, trying to start their own business, So we're excited about that.
So that will be attached to this post. Now I feel like I have to put this out a little bit sooner than I was.
Because I put the pressure on.
Right now I'm like, all right, now I gotta. So we gotta make sure that this is a one-shot deal hit, so I can just bloop.
All right.
So but that'll be attached. That's a great, especially with everything going on. Let's go support our people. Yeah. Let's put money back into our own pockets.
Yeah.
Right. At least we know where it's going. It's going to go to people that look like us.
Mm-hmm.
Feed kids that look like our kids.
Exactly. Help us get ahead.
Yeah. No more crab in the barrel. We gotta get out of that syndrome.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna be lit.
What made you start doing the seafood?
So we would have like events or whatever. Everybody would be like, "Can you make your seafood salad?" I made it one time. I think my mom showed me. She made some seafood salad one day, and I was like, I like that, but it was missing or something. It was a little bit of mom recipe, but I took it and shook it up a little bit, added a little extra something.
The next generation.
Yeah, I had add a little extra to it. And when I made it, somebody was like, "Yo, this is good." And I was like, "All right, thank you." Like, whatever, I did it. Then I switched it up again the next time I made it. Somebody was like, "Yo, who made the seafood salad?" I'm like, all right, so every event, people start asking me, of course, like, "Can you make some seafood salad for the event?" I was like, you know what? I'm selling this because too many people I like it. It's so good. And I'm like, really? And it's so simple. I don't even put much in it. And I think that's what it is. Sometimes less is more,
See, that's why I wanted to bring you on here, because I was telling my wife, since the day I met you, I feel like you always had a good head on your shoulders. And you're one of the ones that stood out. I feel like those are the ones you have to stick with because, I always tell people we're not all animals. Some of us are sophisticated and we all, we want to do better, but also I feel like that does put a lot more pressure on us to feel like we have to stand out more than, the ones that they talk about and stuff.
Right.
So before, I get off topic, that's why I did want to bring on her because, it's about just putting someone else on that needs to get on, we all got kids at the end of the day.
Right.
And if I see somebody else that looks like me get ahead, that I feel like I'm getting ahead, that's going to make me want to get ahead.
Right.
That's just how it should be. So, but now that, so that we want, if anybody has any type of events or anything and want to check out somebody that got some real dope seafood, somebody that looks like you.
Right.
I'm gonna make sure, I've already been attaching her to my page and, and sharing her story. So I'll make sure I share her again and continuing, so.
Yes, I appreciate it so much.
All right. So, going on to our next topic, I don't know how long it's been now, but, I know some tragedy hit your family where your aunt was killed by someone who was recklessly driving.
Right.
And I know I kind of warned you about what we were talking about beforehand. So, if it's something that gets too hard, I do understand.
No, I'm open. I'm open to talk about whatever. So
okay. But the reason why I wanted to talk about it because even after that, even though through the anger and hurt and because you still had to be strong for your family, you decided to use that and bring awareness to the city, to put road stops and just bring a little somebody's more safety so that somebody else is not feeling that same heartache and pain and just making a difference, instead of going and trying to kill somebody and adding to the hurt and the black on black crime that is talked about more than the police killing our black people. So not to get into that because I'm about to ramble about that. But can you just kind of share your story and just talk about how you was able to get through that, still be the strong black woman for your family, and be able to build a platform online, socially, and bring some closure to the street, and build and make your aunt proud.
Yeah, so all right, so it was my cousin's, okay, but it was my cousin.
Oh shit!
But it's cool. You good. So what happened was it was a Saturday night, and it was like I'm chilling in my house, and my godmom called me, and she like, "Yo, your aunt called me, and she's saying teacher just left out the house, and she thinks somebody got hit outside. She think it was her." So I'm like, well, why would she just assume that it was her simply because she just left the house? Like, I'm like, that makes no sense at all. So I'm like, whatever, I hang up. I lay back down in the bed. My mom called me. She like, something happened to teacher. So I'm like, okay, they seem like they know it's her. So I'm like, all right, let me get down here. So by the time I get down there, my mom is outside, the street blocked off. And I'm like, what is going on? So my friend called me before I even made it there. My friend called me like, teacher got shot. So I'm like, wait a minute, like how, like what is happening? I'm getting all these different stories. I get down there and the street is blocked off, and down the street you could see like a white sheet. So I'm like, she was like, teacher got hit. So I'm like, what do you mean she got hit? So my aunt just was like, oh, she came outside. She went out. She just left. She had got into an argument with her boyfriend. And she was like, I'm going to a party. I'm out. She said bye to everybody, walked out the door. As soon as she walked out the door, my aunt heard the pop. And when my aunt heard it, it made everybody jump, and they trying to get to the door. So my aunt trying to get the door unlocked. She can't get it out. By the time my aunt finally got the door unlocked and went outside, the cops already there. So we like, well, like what happened? The girl And there's so many different stories. I don't know what happened, but the one I'm going to put out there is supposedly she was drinking, backed up, hit a cop car. Cop chased her. She's speeding down the street, but the 2700 block of Sedgley Avenue is a block where it's a stop sign at maybe 24th and Sedgley, and then you don't get another one until you get almost to 29th. So it's a big stretch of land where you could just speed, and cars speed down there all the time. I'm not even gonna lie. At one point, I was guilty of speeding down that street because it's freedom to go that fast. So she got on that block. She was supposedly running from the cops. My cousin went to go cross the street, and she hit her. And so, of course, when we get down there, we doing research, and we got like some cops in our family and stuff. So they all come down, and my cousin like, I never seen nothing like this. And I'm like, what? Like, what you talking about? He was like, you don't smell the blood in the air? And I'm like, not really. And he was like, look. And I'm looking around, and my cousin insides was everywhere. When I say everywhere, I mean they was on somebody's step. They was inside this one guy's car. She landed, she must have hit somebody's car, and he went to the dealership to get his car wiped off. When they lift up the hood, something from her body part like fell out, and they was about to call the cops on this man because they like, dog, that's clearly a body part. Like, what happened? So I'm like, I didn't even peep all this because there's so much other stuff going on. So I'm like, well, how do they know it's her? And everybody like, because she just left. Her car's still there. She unlocked the car, like about to start it, and never pulled off. The car's still there. It got to be her. So my cousin, meanwhile, her daughter, she just watched her mom walk out the house. She's on the phone. When we finally got my cousin's cell phone, she had called my cousin's phone about, I think it was like 67 times she called her mom. And she can hear, like before the cops was identifying like that this is her, she could hear her mom's phone ringing from down the street where the damn sheet was at. Meanwhile, the girl that hit her tried to keep going. She never hit the brakes, never stopped, nothing. The only reason she stopped because that impact was so bad. That's why my cousin insides was everywhere, because the impact was so bad that it shut the car down. And she had an SUV. It was like it might have been like a Kia Sportage or something. And the only thing she hit was my cousin, and the car was destroyed. It looked like she ran into a damn building, and it shut the car down like maybe a half a block away, so she couldn't go nowhere. And when they got her out the car, she was drunk. She had a gun on her. It was like her birthday weekend. She was in the city turning up, having fun with her friends. And people do this all the time and think like, it's cool, but you never know what's going to happen. And next thing you know, she hit my cousin. And like till this day, this happened in 2018. If you go to 27th and Diamond, 27th and Sedgley, the tree at the corner, that's where my cousin body landed at, from where her house where the hit her at to the corner. Her insides is still on the tree to this day. The firefighters came and tried to clean it. We did a news interview, and the news people noticed when they was doing the interview that it was something on the tree, and was like, don't go down to the tree. We're going to call the fire department to get them to clean that for y'all. Don't go down there. And I'm like, but what's down there? I go down there still. And I mean, they had the fire hose. Like, they're strong. Like, and till this day, it's still stuff on that tree. Like, that's something her daughter will never forget.
Right, that's a reminder every single time y'all go there.
Every time. It's something that's never going to go away. But it's like, thankfully, like the only way for me to get through there, because it was so tragic, so sudden, like you just wake up and then all of a sudden, and this was my only female cousin, like out of all the grandkids, me and her was the only girls.
Wow.
So, and I'm the youngest in the family, so everybody else was much older than me. She was the only other girl I had to like look to when I was growing up and stuff like that. So it was like,
because she was older than you,
right? She was 30, I think like 37 when she passed. And I just turned 30. So it was like we had that couple years, but she was always like a big sister. And then everybody all my life, like, that's your sister, y'all look alike. Like, they like, y'all look just alike. And I'm like, no, she not my sister. She my cousin. But that's the kind of bond we had. And just to wake up and she going so tragically from somebody just simply going out, enjoying themselves, having a good time for their birthday. And then next thing you know, you in a fucked up situation. You done took somebody's mom. You like... And it was messing me up, because the next day we go over there and my little cousin like, dang, me and my mom went to the hair store and she bought all this hair. She was gonna do my hair today. And I'm like, damn. Like somebody took a simple moment like that from you in the blink of an eye. So I felt like, and then in 99, my grandma got hit on the same block by a drunk driver, and he never stopped. To this day, we don't know who hit her. And from that point, my grandma went downhill. She lost her memory. Like, everything just started going bad. My grandma eventually passed away.
Wow.
So it was like, for this to hit my family twice on the same block, something got to be done.
It's like
and I was
curse.
like, I don't want, right. And I'm like, I don't want nobody else to hit the field, nothing like this. So I was like, I got to see what I got to do. So I started reaching out. City council, I'm calling the city. I'm like, what do you have to do to get speed cushions or a stop sign or something put in this area? Because people speed all the time. And they like, well, what's the problem? Like, what happened? I was like, we got death. So many people got hit. And not like my family, we lost people. But I think like my aunt done seen other people get hit. She said she saw somebody get hit and his shoe ended up landing like in her gate. Like, that's how hard he got hit from the corner. And it's like, people speed on that block all the time. So when I finally got the city to come out and look at it, first thing the man from the city said was like, I speed down this block. And I'm like, I get it. Everybody do. It's a stretch. And it's like, you see this light at the corner, instantly in your mind, it's like, let me see if I can hurry up and beat that. Like, I ain't trying to be stuck right there. Like, this, like, so I get it. Everybody do it. So I was like, we got to put something down here. Because it's like, if it was speed cushions out there, that would have slowed that girl down. She would have had to stop. Like, her car probably would have flipped or something. Like, so I got to do something. So I started calling city council. I started reaching out. Like, I will be on Instagram and I see certain people that's running, trying to help. And I'm like, I reach out to them. And a lot of people was willing to help me. But I ended up going to the state rep for that area. And they ended up coming out. The city came out and I kept in touch. But city council was really like the state rep for that area. Like, I guess they got different districts that they represent. And he responsible for like Cecil B. Moore area. And they like got it done. Once I reached out to them and told them what happened, and I was contacting the city and they had the reports, like everything was in the paperwork.
Right.
They just worked together and they got it done. And it happened so fast. And it was like, people try to get this done. Like, we work a lot with Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And it was like, people reach out and people try to do stuff like this. And it's so hard to get it done. I was like, I was determined because I'm like, I really don't want this to happen to nobody else.
No.
I don't.
Because y'all pretty much lost, well, not pretty much, but y'all lost two people
on
two key people in your lives, in your family.
Same block. That's ridiculous. Like, if not now, when? Like, something gotta happen. So,
but the crazy part is that it's when people say, you know, why we always think the system is against us. This is why. Even if you look at the places that are now gentrified in our city, they have those speed bumps. Literally every 2 seconds, you're hitting a speed bump now. When you go up now, you're going from into East Falls, going into like, you know, out to like Cheltenham. There's speed bumps everywhere,
and nobody is even speeding up here. Everybody's taking
because
their time.
They're scared.
It's a light here,
there's cops on
here,
every
right.
corner, so they have the protection, and like nobody's gonna do it up there. So it's sad that you guys had to go through all of this, because if this happened in one of their areas, it'd have been instantly done the next day. You know, so it's sad that we still not even feel like we are still marginalized, you know, as people in a city that we've been told we had to live here, while they told the white people they had to move out of the city and then rebuilt the inner city because now they want to live there, and now they're fixing the inner city for them and kicking us back out. Right. You know, so I'm really glad that you were able to turn that multiple tragedies for your family into something that was going to be, you know, a staple, where even though now it may still, you know, hurt your family, it's like, we did this for our community so that somebody else wouldn't have to, you know, have those type of memories. Because that has a lot of effect on familyhood, you know. Yeah.
And it was real therapeutic for me too. Like, it kept me out of the sadness of what actually happened. The fact that I'm like, I could help so many people from this situation. Like, we just got to do something. And then on another note, DUI is taken so lightly here. Like, it's taken so lightly. I think maybe a couple months after that happened with my cousin, somebody was drunk, came off of 95 and ran into a gas station of like Cotman and Torresdale and killed like 2 people. And I'm like, and she gonna get a slap on the wrist. She might go to jail for, I think the girl who hit my cousin, she ended up getting 7 years total. She got 7 years total, but she got to do 2 in jail. And if it's possible, after 2 years, she could get out on good behavior. But she got to finish the rest of them years on either probation or parole. So she gonna be living life on the edge, like she can't do nothing to violate, or she could get back to jail. But it's like, that's a step when she's out here.
Right.
Meanwhile, my little cousin just this year, she went on prime, she graduated, she had to do all that without her mom.
Somebody that's supposed to be there. Yeah.
Right. They was when you seen one, you seen the other. Like, so for them to be so tight, and somebody just took that away from her simply because they wanted to have a good night. Like, and it's like, it's crazy because when we went to the court date, the girl was crying and she was remorseful. And she even said she wanted to start some kind of program because she felt like within the black community, a lot of the times we use drugs and alcohol to suppress a lot of the things that we deal with. And it's true. It really is true. And it's like, this is just a crazy situation. And so I feel like it's tragic, but if we can use this to get ahead so we can do better, then I'm here for it. Like, we gotta make it happen. We gotta do something. So if the girl was really remorseful and she really felt like that, I hope if she do 2 years, she do get out and do something with it. But yeah, it's a slap on the wrist. They need to up that because people take it lightly.
Yeah, especially depending on the area. So the justice system is another beast as it is. So, but how's everyone now?
It's like my cousin, she was the main caregiver for my aunt. She took care of her mom. My aunt she's starting to get older and she falling apart. So, she need that help. So with my cousin going, it instantly just fell right on me, my mom.
Any of you guys ever go to therapy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all actually went. We all went at one point, and then it was more so my aunt and my little cousin, because it's like, that's a different kind of trauma when you watch somebody walk out the door and then hear the hit.
Yeah.
Like that, I can't even. So they continue to go. I go sometimes, and even now they've been doing it virtually. So it's like we join the meetings here and there. But yeah, we all, like, everybody had to end up getting therapy because that was a lot. Especially to ride down there today, and I still can see my cousin insides or something on the tree when I ride past. It's like, wow.
You don't even want to look.
Right.
Yeah. You're trying to like picture that, not in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to kick it to the last part of our convo, which is going to, we're going to talk about, you as a mother. You just have one daughter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just one. Just one. I wanted a team, but
yeah,
just one.
There's the rest of life. You're still young.
I don't know. My clock ticking. My clock ticking. I mean, I just hit 30, but
the way the world is now, everybody is on. I feel like on the faster clock. But with all that said, with everything that you still have to go on for your mental and your peace, how's that still been able to, allow you to, be a mother still and be able to give that that motherly, guidance, so that your little black girl can grow up into be a black woman and, be a, positive member of society and, get a piece of that American pie.
So yeah, because even when we talked about my cousin and everything, I use everything as a learning experience. So I try to take everything and try to make it better. So even when it comes to my daughter, I let her see me go through certain things, because I'm like, me growing up, a lot of stuff was hidden from me. I didn't have talks with my mom. We didn't explain. It was like, if you get in trouble, it's just you did something wrong, like you getting punished for it. It's never like, this is why this is wrong. Right. You can't do this because this is. So I try to give that to my daughter. And like I said, it's a learning experience. I had to go through something that made me a little uncomfortable. Like, well, why am I in trouble? Why is this bad? Nobody ever explained that to me. And it was kind of rough on me. Like, I'm so sensitive. I don't like to be yelled at. Like, so that's all it took for me. It was like, oh, this is like, I'm getting yelled at. I don't even damn, why is it so bad? So I try to talk to my daughter a little bit more. So I try to use everything and try to flip it and make it a positive, So I kind of put that in the raising my daughter. And I don't keep nothing, like I try not to keep nothing from her. It's like, you need to see this. Like, you think looking on social media that life is just easy and this is how they, no, we struggling out here. Like, we struggling. I'm making the sequel salad. You gonna get in here and peel these shrimp because we got to try to get ahead. Like, so I just try to use everything and flip it into a positive, no matter what something throw my way. You know, I might be angry about it for a little bit. I cry, I'm sad. Oh, like, this was a bad June, but no, we gonna figure it out.
I think that's why I gravitated towards you, because that's just that's the way we parent. You know, that's and sometimes I do get in that mindset of just, you know, trying to just, you know, throw the kids around, and then she has to remind me, no, you have to tell them the why.
Right.
And I just had a conversation with my oldest son, and we were talking about his mom. She was mad at him because she gave him this key, and she thought he was trying to be petty because she locked his phone down because he was doing something he wasn't supposed to do in school. And he didn't hand it back. It actually fell on the side of the chair. So she's calling to him, and he's being real nonchalant, which he gets from me. And then
okay, accountability.
So she's like telling me, she's like, Julian, this is what I'm talking about, this nonchalant attitude, but it's cool. It's cool. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna, you know, when I see him, I'm just gonna mess him up. And I had to have a talk with him. I was like, one, you need to apologize to your mom, because, you know, you have to understand that you're the only black man in her life. You know, I said every other black man left her, me. You know, her dad is in and out.
Right.
You know, whatever boyfriend she had at whatever time is gone. So really, she depends on you to be her rock. And when you do things and say things like that, it lets her down even more. And that's why she's extra angry. So you have to be a little bit more remorseful and understand it is your fault. You should just hand her back the key.
Right.
This wouldn't even been a conversation. And the way you responded to her should have been different. I'm pretty sure that's how every black man has given her responses, you know, so just so he knows that he has to be more, you know, human, you know, and be more understanding, because I never knew why, you know, his mom was angry when I was with her, or my other son mom, or my wife was mad at me. You know, I had to really learn that at an older time, because like you said, my parents didn't talk to me.
Right.
You know, my mom was too busy high on crack. So it was something that I had to raise my little sisters, and then I became an adult, you know, so we never had no childhood, you know, so we try to give more back to them, but I feel like it's a cripple at the same time. So it's like, which of the lesser two evils are you picking?
Yeah, and it's all a learning experience though. Like, no matter what, we're always learning. You always going to be learning. You're not going to get it right all the time. Because even like as a mom, I try to make everything a positive, but I'm emotional and I act a lot off of impulse. But I can always sit back, right, and be like, you know what? Let me explain to her why I yelled at her like that. Like, I did snap because it was like, but I'm expecting so much more from you. I know you can do better. I know you got more than it. Like, you have to do better. And that's why I get so upset, because I know you better than this.
Right.
And I always explain that to her and tell her, like, you got so much more in you. So, like, you got to be the best you can be. You can't, and it's okay to fall short. We're going to make mistakes, but you got to learn how to pick that up and keep rolling with it. I'm gonna take this brick and I'm gonna keep adding it to my house till I got the best house that I want. Like, and it's all about building from them negatives.
My favorite line is, I was your age before, so I know your move before you make that move, you know. And I think,
but you know how that still coming to us as kids. Like, you be like, whatever.
Yeah.
You be like, whatever. Those old people say that to me all the time. Like, I was your age once, and I find myself saying that to my daughter a lot, and I'm like, I know how she's taking it already. I already know how she's taking it. Like, well, whatever. It was different back then.
Right. So we're getting to that point of the end of our convo. So, but what I usually do at the end of, I always do like a call to action. So, what would you think your takeaway was?
Wait, my takeaway from all this?
Yeah, our convo today.
I feel like it motivated me a lot. It made me want to just keep going, because I'm realizing, like, you know, it is being noticed, and I'm on the right path. I'm doing what I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So, and I can thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I'd like to thank everyone who really took the time to listen to the first episode. As I move forward, I actually was able to get in touch with a lot of good people who are going to be able to help me edit some of these episodes, so I'll be able to get them out faster. With that said, if you ever felt like you wanted to have a voice, I feel like the Anchor app does a great job of allowing you to start your podcast, and it's very easy to use. So what you could do is, if you have an iPhone, you can go over to the Apple Store, or if you have an Android phone, you can go to the Play Store and download the Anchor app, or go to Anchor FM from your computer to get started.
Yeah, so thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we all want the same thing, and I was telling everybody I've talked to, I always say that, like, my envision is crazy, because when I started doing this, it was like I never had the idea of doing anything ever like this in life, period. And then one day I was just sitting on my bed, and something just was like, you need to do X, Y, and Z. You're going to talk to this person. You're going to talk to this person. This is what this person is going to be doing. And I knew what you were going to be doing before you did it. So I was like, when she gets to this point, I'm a lay the bait. We're gonna lay the grounding for it, and we're gonna have this talk, because I love having these talks. I love having these talks with I love talking to Black people. I love listening to Black people. I'm gonna give you some homework. Okay.
All right.
So it's actually on Netflix now. All right, we all got Netflix, right? If not, I know you somebody got username and password. If not, I got you.
Yeah, I got the Netflix.
I'm a huge James Baldwin fan.
Okay.
You know what James Baldwin is? Okay. We all know. We should all know. But if you haven't seen it, it's a picture called "I'm Not Your Negro."
Okay.
Ever watched it?
No, I didn't. I don't even think I saw that up there.
It just, the thing is, it was on Amazon. It was on Prime Video.
Okay.
And I don't know, something told me to watch it, but I started really like watching like a lot of like old interviews, and just watching how like Black people had to like be on, be in front of, be a certain way, and fight for equality. It's crazy, that only 57 years ago Martin Luther King was talking about equality for us. And I'll be 35 next month, so that's not that long ago. I could be not being able to, I wouldn't be able to live here.
But it's crazy. It seemed like we've came so far, but
no,
not at all. Not at all.
Not for something that just should be just given to every human being.
Yeah.
But this documentary. So James Baldwin, of course, died before he was able to publish this book.
Okay.
So that voice actor is I want to say Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh shoot! This sounds interesting. There.
Yeah. So he's
like,
reading. So he's reading the book as though he's James Baldwin, and the premise of the book is to show racism through the history of history of this country, through but he had very special relationships with Martin Luther King, with Medgar Evers, and Malcolm X.
Okay.
So he talks about all his relationships with them, why he became a author opposed to continuing to be on the front lines of Martin Luther King and John Lewis. So I think that's what led me into like that, awoken the all right, I know I'm Black, I know I'm part of this system, but that's what really led me to like, all right, now I gotta do my part.
Do something right.
Yeah, I gotta wake up. And I actually know that Libras actually are very against injustice.
Okay.
So,
Libras.
Yeah. Yep. So, it's gonna make you cry. It's gonna make you angry. It did for me, but it's something that I feel like it would really, do you some justice.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a watch. Because growing up, what was my push? Like, I used to watch a lot of slavery movies. And just to see, like, we went through this.
Speaking of that, I'm not going to talk about the universe, but I actually posted on my Facebook what I'm going to show you too after we talk. I posted what slavery movie did it for you. I put Amistad.
I'm trying to think what did it for me. The crazy part is because this is not that old. And I seen a lot of things before that had me, on edge. Like,
who out here?
Right. But you know what did it? 12 Years a Slave.
Listen, if I show you this post right now,
12 Years a Slave.
Everybody put that. Everyone put 12 Years a Slave. They were ready.
That movie, because to see him free, finally, like, you free, you got your family, things is changing.
That was 11 hours ago.
Wow.
Some people put Rosewood.
And Rosewood, that is deep, especially because I did like my research to actually find out everything. But
my one homie said he couldn't even finish it.
That was something. To see that man free, you at a dinner thinking you about to have a good time and they set you up like that.
Yep.
And because you a black man, nobody want to hear, I'm free. I was free. Like, nobody want to hear that.
He was free, he had money, he had a family.
And then when he finally get free and he go meet his family, his wife done moved on. She done remarried.
Yep.
Your daughter done grew up, had a baby. Like,
so much time passed.
Man.
And they knew he was free already, though. That's the crazy part.
That was it. That one right there, that one did it for me. That gotta be the one.
But it's crazy how many people that through this time right now that I was disgusted that I wasted energy and space with so many people that I realized that really hated me.
Yeah.
They just had I gotta be around. Like, why even want to share that space with somebody?
Yeah.
And why fake it at that?
Right. Like, you're not beneficial to my life in no kind of way.
Just to know that you hated me and hated other people that look like me because we don't have the same skin color. Yeah. But the crazy part is we never, even through from we landed to now, we were never taught to hate them.
Have you ever had like a racist situation happen? Like,
I can maybe not to where I was like, now if I notice it, we gonna rumble. But maybe before I just nonchalantly just kind of breezed it through.
So I went to Lincoln for high school. And I had a teacher that was there, and me and my friend in my locker, we in the locker getting our books, about to go to our next class. But we was a little loud. And this teacher, she was always one of the ones, get out the hall, like, And she come out, she like, what are y'all doing in the hallway? And I'm like, I'm getting my books. This is my lunch period. I'm just getting my books. So after lunch, I could go right to my next class. I don't even gotta come here. She was like, well, y'all too loud in my hallway. Y'all need to move. So my friend like, lady, like, whatever, we not loud, there's only two of us, I'm getting my bag. She was like, you know what, what's your name, or do y'all go by a number? And me and my friend like, whoa, why the hell would we go by a number? Like, and she was like, this is what I mean, y'all come up here, I bet you this not your neighborhood school, you need to go back to your neighborhood school. Where was that? Somewhere in North Philly. And me and my friend like, whoa.
At this point we about to rumble.
And I was so shocked because I'm like, damn, I watch movies about stuff like this. Yeah. I see it on TV. For her to say that to me this day and age, I just was at a total space of shock. Like, I couldn't believe it. And I looked over and my law teacher, the same color as the one that said what she said, he's standing in the doorway and he like, I heard what she said, but I really don't want to get involved. But I heard what she said, and that wasn't right for her to say that to y'all. But I can't get involved. And I looked at him like,
why are you saying anything, bro?
Yeah, like, thanks a lot.
That's not helping me.
But look, you see how the universe worked? A couple weeks later, one of my friends went in his classroom, covered his face all up with a t-shirt, tore that man classroom up, tore it up. He came down the hallway with my front picture on a piece of paper, like, Doris, is this him? Is this him? I know this him. I was like, I don't want to get involved. Like, I mean, boom. Like, but it's just crazy. Like, I was really in shock. Like, it's 2000, maybe 6, something.
But not even that though. But what makes you hate? Like, why is that even like a
right?
thing?
Like, that's the first thing you go for. The difference in the color of my skin. Like, I go by a number now. Now I don't even have a name. I just go by a number. The crazy part was I went back to that high school to work. Like, when I started my career and working for the district, I went right back to that high school. I was like, I want to go back here. And she still works there. And I've heard, like, somebody came to me one day and was like, yo, she told one of the kids, like, oh, we going to have a party. I want you to make one of the black kids. I want you to make the macaroni and cheese because, you know, y'all make that real well. Like, you still at it. So, yeah.
It's,
I got a job. Like, it's something.
But it's crazy because, I don't know, because I see so many people posting things like, oh, like, I never stood for the flag. But, you know, when I was a kid, like, we talk about our parents not teaching us correctly. Like, now as an adult, I'm like, you better not stand for no damn flag.
Right.
You know, I was, as a kid, I was
right here, bam, right hand over your heart. Repeat after me. Like, it's just what you taught is
but then it's like they would play Roots for us. Like, when I was in school, like, we watched Roots, and first of all, I'm like, I would not watch it because I'm like, I don't want to see. This is not even like a. Well, I want to see people get beat that look like me.
Right.
We're not watching no movies where y'all people getting beat.
Nope.
But then, you know, in the books they you know, told us Columbus was this great person. You know, then as we got older, they started trying to change it, and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. But then there's people even, you know, trying to beat other people up to remove these statues of a person that genocided people that actually were indigenous to this country. That we're actually aliens, and white people are aliens too.
And it's just crazy. As much as we have accomplished, like, since back then, it's still like y'all just won't be like, they are like they bleed like me. They do this like.
Listen, I don't know what made me stop wanting to just, I guess, be on Instagram and just look at stuff that wasn't going. Like, I'll literally look at people's interviews now, and I was listening to this lady, this professor from Berkeley, and she was talking about the name of her book was Stranger in My Land. And when she first was talking, I thought she was talking about black people, but she went and interviewed white people in, like, you know, rural parts of like Louisiana and stuff like that. And she the person, there was multiple people that they interviewed, and what she was saying was that, especially like Obama, like, they had this picture, and it showed people standing in line, and then it showed, like, you know, the country, and, like, you know, all the states, and it showed people walking through this door, and that was supposed to show, you know, the American dream of people succeeding, you know, having jobs.
Right.
It's in their head. They're so afraid to lose a job to somebody that doesn't look like them that they want to put you behind. And then, you know, you look how long it took for us to have a president that looked like us.
Yes. And I feel like that's the key to it all. Just what you said. Fear.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's fear. It's
fear.
It's literally fear. That, you know, they're so afraid to. Then you look at what it did to us as people, to where we always are putting each other down.
Yeah.
You know, we're always trying to get over each other because we want to look better to massa. You know, I work at a job now where I see and hear older people doing it to each other to get praise, and it's weird, so
from somebody who don't even really
care
about you for real.
Right.
And I'm real big. That's another thing I'm big on my daughter with, like the way she talk, even to her friends, they be playing. And I'm like, I don't really want to be that mom that's just like, we can't have no fun. But it's like, she'll be talking to her friends and she like, oh, you so retarded. And I'm like,
nope,
don't say that. Like, he's not like that's not a nice word, first of all. So right, you're not going to use that. They use that for people who have mental disabilities. Like that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I had to talk to my son about saying things are gay.
And they talk to each other so viciously.
I'm like, do you know that it's offensive to someone that is homosexual?
Right.
That someone who isn't, there's nothing wrong with them, that's their preference. But nobody wants to hear, oh you gay, and like that emasculates a man on top of it. Like, now, oh, I'm not, that's not me, now I have to defend myself. Then the person saying, oh, you must be because you saying
right.
Then now I have this stigma. Even if I was, now I don't want to come out to you, somebody that's supposed to be my friend,
right,
that now is not going to accept me.
Edge if I am right. Yeah.
So
I'm so big, and I don't like weirdo. Just because I'm doing something that's different than what you could even envision, or like that don't make me like, I don't. It's so many words I just don't like. And
now there is stuff that when they do that is not as like a human should be, where it's like giving human responses, then I'll refer to it as a weird. Like, that's something that's just, you're not supposed to be like.
Right.
And I don't want you to feel like you can't be the type of person you want to be, but this is the staple for you to be a standard binary human being. This part right here cannot be changed.
Right.
Your communication, the way you treat people that look like you, the way you treat your siblings, the way you treat your mother, whatever woman that you decide to have in your life, this is how you need to treat them. That's why, like, I wasn't gonna have any more kids. It took me to be married to want to have another, because I wasn't going to, because I'm like, I can't keep having these kids out of wedlock and just making their lives harder. So it's like I have to do extra work because of that. So that's why I try to talk to them. Like, marriage isn't for everybody, but if you could do it right the first time, you should at least try to be married and then have kids, because that's gonna allow you to want to stay around when the times get hard.
It's like the foundation of everything. Yeah, that's why I only got one, because I was like, the next time I do it, I want to do it right. I want a family. I want to give her something that she could look up to when she get older. Oh, I want to get married. I want it, like, I want it to be a beautiful thing. And even through the good, like you said, through the hard times, it give you something to be like, this is worth sticking around for. It's worth fighting for. It's worth, So I definitely get that.
So I feel like we have to be able to give them the tools so that when they go and become adults and have to fight this battle that I feel like is never going to end, they should be able to start that battle earlier and not have the trauma that we've had as kids, that they have to deal with as well too. So yeah. It's good shit. Good shit. So anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we covered it all. Just throw their pop-up shop back in there.
Yes. The pop-up shop is lit on Saturday. The good thing about this is the only thing I'm going to have to cut out is the phone call, and that's pretty much it. Besides that, fuck that. I'm leaving the phone call is getting added to it. It's just going to be a sound effect. They're going to be like, oh shit, he has sound effects now.
Boom. Make it a bomb. Boom. Hope it was getting good right there.
Yeah. So the next time we talk again is going to be, I feel like every guest I've had so far, then the next time that I feel like the stars are aligned, it's going to be the next upgrade in your life. And then we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the next level again in whatever amount of time it is, it's going to take.
Definitely. I'll definitely be back.
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, it's going to be, the crazy part is that more. I actually had the idea I had of this was going to be like a documentary. So like I think like maybe like a couple guests before I had he had started a video production company, and like in my head it was like you need to reach out to him.
Yep, y'all work together.
And we need to work together. So I was going to start as a documentary and just displaying Black fathers, because it's not, especially here in Philadelphia, it's not broadcasted.
It's not
at all. So I was going to have like this big thing, but I wasn't too comfortable with doing that yet. So then I was like, all right, maybe I could start a podcast, because I do like talking.
I don't want to hear that not comfortable stuff though. Sometimes you gotta take that leap.
No,
feel it.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
Take that leap.
I didn't know what direction to like go with like just having the foundation. I wanted to be able to have like a foundation around it, and then have like a like the name and all that. And then I felt like if I had to put too much thought into the making I wouldn't want to do it.
Right.
So I started with this, and then we talked about it on there. He's like, and the way that he portrays Black people is like magic.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the way our skin. It's just because he's from Ghana, so he has his skin's already like he's like a real melanated Black man.
I already, as soon as you say he's from Ghana, I'm like, oh, I got you. That's different. But that's why even more of a reason why you got to take that leap of faith.
Now, so what we talked about is hopefully by Father's Day we can put something together, and be able to put that out as well too. But of course, this isn't just for the brothers, this is for the sisters too, because we as a community need to do better with just loving each other and being able to say that correctly.
Right.
It's too much hurt going on, and not enough loving.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So 100%.
So we're gonna end it there, because I feel like we're gonna talk for another $3 million. All right. So thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been fun. So
thank you so much for having me.
And now I gotta put this out like Tuesday now.
Sound like a good thing.
It's gonna be like a bonus episode. Because I usually just been trying to put ones out on Monday, but the one tomorrow, that was the hardest one for me.
Yeah, because we gotta support Black businesses. And Saturday, I'm telling you, we tried to keep it. I really think we got all females. I really believe it's all African American women vendors. I don't think we even got somebody coming doing CPR and first aid training.
Damn. What? Yeah. See, my wife would love that too.
Yeah, we got CPR and first aid training also. I don't know how I forgot about that. That's a big one. And that's something very important. We need to learn. We need to know what to do. The other day I had all these kids with me and they got stung by hornets. Somebody hit the hornet's nest. Almost every child with me got stung. And it's like everybody went into panic mode. Like, because it's like, you don't think what I'm gonna do? Like, they got stung. So you need to learn like what you gotta do for situations like that. Luckily I was able to remain calm. And with my little bit of experience in the medical field, I was like, go to Rite Aid. Just go to Rite Aid, talk to the pharmacist, ask him what's the best thing to put on this thing. And
that's crazy.
The kids was good by the end of the night. So it was like, but first thing CPR, it could save a life. It can help.
So on top of that too, thank you for, I wanted to say this too. Please, once I get some little extra coins, I'm gonna do it myself, but please, if you don't already have one, please go get yourself a firearm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially I don't watch the news, especially in here, but when I'm at work, they always have the news on, and some of the things that these Trump supporters are saying, they're talking about, they don't know, they're willing to do anything if he loses.
And I used to be against, like I wasn't growing up. My mom used to being a police officer. I had firearms in the house all the time. So when I got my own place, I'm like, I'm not really big on having a firearm in the house. But now I'm like, I just reached out to my mom. I'm like, Mom, we want to I'm gonna have to get my license. We got to transfer something in my name because
But here's the funny thing though. I've been trying to get it, and they actually have a waiting list until next year.
Wow. For the actual license?
They're not trying to give that to us. So we gotta go.
But we don't need one to keep one in our house.
Correct.
So
if no one knows that, please go out. Please protect your family.
Yeah. For sure.
Some people may know Taekwondo. Some people might know Jiu-Jitsu, but
go out. If that robber come in the house, your Jiu-Jitsu might not stop that bullet that's coming.
Yeah. Please go and protect. It got to the point where I try not to go in the news articles and stuff because the way some of these people be saying, and then I actually had to respond just to some of the black people and say, hey, please protect yourself. Yeah. Like I'm literally saying this to strangers, black strangers, because the shows we watch on TV. I don't know if you watch Lovecraft Country.
No.
Please watch that. Shout out to that show. It's on HBO.
Wait a minute.
It's an amazing show. So this joint's about to try to get me out again. They're about to do an hour.
Wow.
Anywho, so
yeah,
the H.P. Lovecraft. It's the H.P. Lovecraft was a author during I don't know what era it was.
That's the name of the show. What was the name of the show?
Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country.
But H.P. Lovecraft was a Caucasian white author who really, really hated black people. So he actually said that God made white people, and then the leftovers, the scraps were us.
Wow.
So he would make a lot of, but he was so smart, and he had like a lot of, like, he was a very, like, his stories had a lot of imagination to them. So like a lot of stuff that we watch now, like Stephen King, all that, they got a lot of inspiration from him, minus the racist shit, but he was a really, really big racist. But the show is supposed to kind of incorporate that in there during segregation time. So it's a really good show. It's on HBO. It's like episode maybe 6. It comes on Sunday. So
yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
It might make you it might have you hate white people.
I just don't get it.
Some of them. But if you don't get a chance, and I'm gonna end it, the guy I talked to tomorrow, he's one of the good ones. I say that because I've seen him actually, like when they had a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests, he was actually out there protesting.
And that showed a lot of people true colors too. Was people that you hanging with, sitting with every day.
That's what I was saying to you. Yeah, like there's people I worked with, that are posting like Trump stuff, and I'm like, he's like telling me what he did for I said, listen, that's off the bat. Obama, any political person, I can't say they made any. We're already at the bottom of the barrel anyway. So any changes they make political, we don't see that shit anyway.
Yeah. Right.
So, but I'm going off more for being a human being. Mm-hmm. So if he can't go up and say something about black people being killed by the police, or Martin Luther King being outside, Martin Luther King's speech, the 57th anniversary, right outside his window,
right? Or
even talk about John Lewis, who was a staple in the civil rights movement. Can't even say anything about him, or even saying like John McCain is a not a hero because he got captured, was a POW. And you guys can defend him, and I'm like, first of all, I said you have a mixed baby, with a Spanish person. So, listen,
how you really feel?
Yeah. And I listen, I said, you really see like people who like, yeah, I love you and I love you. And you're a great person. You're this and you're that. And you can't post one thing about the
true colors. They come out, they surface.
I posted literally, I would post, and literally only two white people would comment. And they would literally say, because at the end of the day, they know it's not them. They know that's not how they are. Mm-hmm. And when we say white people, we're not gearing it towards you. So why are you getting offended? Unless that's actually how you feel.
Yeah, exactly. Them true colors.
You know how like they say if the shoe fit,
wear it.
Right. So if somebody's saying something about generalizing, they're saying a general statement about me, if I get offended, then that must mean it's me.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just how you should naturally be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not saying anything and you talk or the things you post is like, bro, now you tell me. All right.
Yeah, I see. I get it.
Listen, I gotta remove you.
Yeah.
So he, talked about that. He talked about white privilege and how many white people know that they have it. They say it doesn't exist, but he say they'll laugh about it behind closed doors.
Yeah, because they know. They know. Come on. I watched this guy on Instagram. He was cussing the police out the other day. And I'm like, if he was black and just said no.
Did you see the guy the other night? The other night?
Was it here?
No. And the two sheriffs were on him, and the baby, his son was trying to pull the cops off him. That's the last thing that's on there right now. If you go on, that's the last. That was 2-3 days ago.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I just don't get it.
But and I'll leave it like this. So for them, for white people to say that Black Lives Matter is this propaganda, the guy I was talking to, he said, "Look, Julian, I don't think it's propaganda. I feel like it's the civil rights movement, but upgraded."